Hey everyone, how are you? Hope you're well. So today we're going to talk about what's going on with Apple stock. So this news is a couple of days old, but there's an update to it. So I'm going to share the update. But before I get started, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you're not a subscriber, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. So what is going on with the United States and China, and how does that impact Apple stock? Well, as you know, there it was released in the media that China has banned the Apple iPhone. So they have essentially told their government officials that they cannot use the iPhone. So what China does is they fight back. So when they consider that the United States did a slight against them, then they'll do a slight against the United States. So a tick for tack kind of thing going on between the United States and China. So, but the update, however, is that they're saying, according to the media, that China said that they did not ban the iPhone, right? So that is the latest update. All right. So we did notice that the Apple shares dropped a few days ago. The share price dropped, and it was the largest drop that there's been in a while because people are used to Apple stock steadily climbing because Apple is always inventing new things. They have the new iPhone coming out every year. There were earlier reports that people are not buying the new iPhones like they used to. But there was also this thing going on with China. So anyway, the Apple shares dropped, and it was the largest drop that they've seen with Apple stock in a while. However, like I said before, China said that they did not have a ban on the iPhones. So we will find out the truth one day, whether it was a ban or not. But all we know for sure is that the shares of Apple dropped, and it was very noticeable. All right. So some of the phones are actually produced over in China, in the Chinese factories. So I think that is interesting. There's a very intricate relationship going on between the United States and China, that the phones are actually being produced over there in the Chinese factories, right? So, also in regards to Apple, Apple has a very high profile over in China, and it's a very well established brand, American brand over in China. So, over in China, they are very familiar with the brand Apple, just like we are over here. So, very established brand, very high profile. And then they're working together because the phones are even produced over there in the Chinese factories. I think that is interesting. So, that is one of the things going on between the relationship between the United States and China, is that it does affect the stock market over here in the US. It affects the stock market. There was a noticeable drop in Apple stock, right? So some people pay attention to that. Other people don't pay attention to that, especially long-term investors, because if you're a long-term investor, then you are dollar cost averaging, meaning that you're buying when it's low and you're buying when it's high. So there is a consistent buying. So for long-term investors, they're buying the dip because they're buying when it's low, they're buying when it's high, and then eventually, in the long term, in the future, people who are invest will be wealthier than people who do not invest at all. And that is one of the differences between the wealthy and the poor, that the wealthy invest, the poor don't invest. But the history is different also, between the wealthy and the poor. Um, the poor went through generations of slavery. The wealthy did not go through generations of slavery, right? So there is a history there. It's not just putting the blame on them for being in the situation that they're in, right? This is a long history. But there is something that you can do about it. And one of those things being becoming an investor if you are already not an investor. So for the long-term investors, what's going on in the news really doesn't matter. For the traders, for some of the traders, the news did matter because there's an expectation that Apple is one of those heavy-duty businesses that is just going to continue to climb. And so if you're not paying attention to what's going on in the world, you're a trader, you're just expecting it to climb as normal, then you lost some money because it didn't climb, it dropped, right? So that's why paying attention to the news is important for some traders. For other traders, the news is not important. They are just looking at the charts. So what are the charts saying, right? So for some traders, the news is not important. They are reading the charts and that's it. The bottom line, what do the charts say? All right, so that is what is going on with the Apple iPhone, Apple stock. Do me a favor before you leave, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you won't miss the episode. Also, if you are not an investor, if you are not in the stock market, check out the link below. I will show you how to invest. All right, before you leave, don't forget, hit that like button on your way out. All right, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day.